You're good.
I'm just waiting for it to pop up.
It's there. It'll take people a minute.
Okay, I'm waiting
Just
for
say
it.
it's part 2. Go ahead.
I know, but I don't see it on my screen, so I can't
just go ahead and tell them, hey, it's part 2.
Part 2, guys. I'm waiting for mine to show up, and that's taking a long time. I think that'll be our next investment, you're right. Still waiting.
Alright.
I don't see it yet.
It should be on there. Sorry, this is part 2. Yeah, there's a couple people in there.
Okay.
Alright.
You can talk, but I don't see it yet, so.
So I'm only saying this because if you watch this after it's done, you have no idea what the heck this is about. Our internet sucks here. You just had a classic example of that if you were watching. But if you just catch this the first time, just stop it and go to the previous video on the live shows playlist. And part 1 will be there.
Get your stuff together before Hurricane Part 2 comes.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be somewhere else. We're obviously not going to be in this house, but I am putting all the stuff in a certain corner because they do start tomorrow. So we're hoping that it turns, and it's not heading here, right? It's what, Louisiana's the.
If you have zero interest in the weather, I don't want to bore you, but how these storms work this time of the year is they get really strong really quickly because the Gulf of Mexico water is really hot. But the water has started to cool off the coast of where we live, so it's super strong right now, but I think it'll be about like the last hurricane we experienced. Right now, it's catastrophic in the Gulf. I think when it makes landfall, it will be like the one we just had. So if it hits right here, we'll get the same thing, but it'll be a quicker punch of it.
Just had. We don't need almost 3.
No, it'll be fast, though. It's moving quicker. Anyway, we got interrupted where? Where did we get interrupted at?
We were talking about why American tennis and why kids quit so easily. We're talking about Mary Pierce.
Okay, that's we're good with that. That's what we left off.
Yeah, and then we were just saying, what does it take to make a champion? And I said, I don't agree with parents beating up their kids. There has to be a way of doing it. Sure, you yell at them, blah blah blah, but you don't beat them up.
And I don't know before it cut off if I was asking you of how it went down for you.
You're talking about why people quit tennis.
Okay. What happened to you as a child, Carla, on the court? What did your dad ever yell at you?
Of course he did.
Did your dad ever,
I feared my dad on the tennis court and at home.
And looking back now, aren't you very grateful for it?
Oh, sure, definitely. Yeah.
I think now if you do some of these things, you can have the police called on you and someone will film you and your ass will end up in jail. And that's the big problem that we have. I do think it's very important to be able to get in your student's face when you need to. I mean, when you walk on a sideline in the National Football League, American football, do you think the coaches are saying, "Hey, great job, you threw an interception. That's okay. You'll be better next time"? Or is he like, "What the fuck was that shit?"
So Alex asked, why do U.S. men's tennis suck but not U.S. women? Well, I could tell you that.
I think there's more fight in the women these days because of a lot of isms and different ideologies across the board. They're ready to fight because of what they want. They want equality.
Exactly. And on top of that, a lot of the women come from parents that are international. So they're raised still that way.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. If you look at the girls, where they're from, look at their background, where they're coming from. That's the other thing. Usually the American boys don't have that background. They're usually playing, if it's an international playing, they're playing for their country.
I mean, look at the books. Well, what is Kennan's ancestry? What is Sophia Kennan's ancestry? Mm-hmm. I mean, look, who wasn't Safarova Bethany Maddox-Sands as well? She was of Russian descent, and
she still played for Russia.
Does she still play?
Yeah,
Safarova? I thought Safarova as a doubles player.
No, we
played as an American team. No, am I wrong about that?
Yeah,
I very well could be. But when I was a boy, and I don't want to exaggerate anything, but there was an understanding in my home, and we had a nice home. It was an understanding that when we got done with schoolwork, and it didn't matter if it was the summertime, because we would still have schoolwork of some sort set up by our parents, whether it's drawing a picture, but a detailed one, or putting together a model, and a difficult one, then at some point we were going to go to the tennis court. It didn't matter if it was raining, it didn't matter if it was snowing, it didn't matter if it was 130 degrees or if it was -20, and we've been in all of them, and that's a fact. And I'm not kidding about that. My dad took us in the court to Virginia Beach one day when the snow was like 6 inches deep and couldn't even see, just to state or just to have us understand that this is what we do. We're tennis players, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
And I think it takes that to ingrain it into your blood that this game is something that you have to work your ass for. Now, let me read you another comment from Mary Pierce, okay? Now, this is how this topic started in the first place. Where's my next? Oh, okay, here it goes. She said, quote, this is her quoting. Mary Pierce says this: today, I think that with social networks, some may think that everything is easy. So as soon as it starts to get difficult, young people give up. This is not how we will be able to do great things in life and in tennis. Mm-hmm. Pretty good quote, right? The exact flavor of what you're talking about, right?
Right.
I just wrote here some nuggets, and we're going to move forward. The flavor that we get a lot, not the majority, but, well, yeah, the majority of the time, from students, from other people other coaches that we talk to and what they say about their students these days, especially we've coached for, 22 years?
Not me, not 22 years.
22 years for me, and you're pushing 11 with me. So you've coached 11, you've been around the game, you grew up in it. But this is what I see. I see a lot of whining. I see a lot of, well, I can't do that shot very well, so geez, why do I have to hit it? I see a lot of laziness. I see a lot of, I have to run to my bag and get my phone. Therefore, if you're having to run to go get your phone, does that mean you were really focusing on stroke production? Does that really mean you were focusing on swinging freely? Does that really mean you were focusing on pronation? Does that really mean you were doing jack shit except thinking about getting over to that phone? And I think it's ubiquitous on any country or any place where this is commonplace. I mean, if I go to Iran, I'm not whipping out my cell phone, surely, and jumping on YouTube. I mean, but is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if it's good or bad anymore.
Juliet said, Justin, you wrote nuggets, but I want to eat nuggets.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I love nuggets.
I'm hungry again.
Depends on what type of nugget.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Ola Binte. I had that written, but I guess you already said it. But yeah, we had that written. We're talking. G Short sent me like many hours ago about the investigation of match fixing at French Open.
Do that one.
Okay, women's doubles. Andrea Mitty and Patricia Marta Tig, and Madison Brengle and Yana Siskova. This was the first round match on September 30th. Just to give you a little background, Yana Siskova is 336 in the world, 25 years old. Brengle, 30 years old and 35 in the world. We know Patricia Tig, she won a tournament, beat Bouchard, and she did pretty well here at the French Open. Basically, the investigation is on the second set of the fifth game. It was Yana Siskova serving, and she got broken at love. Double faulted twice, and I guess she missed all the points. And for some reason, they said there was a large sum was placed on that game. Several 100,000 euros were placed on that game. Well, Tig and Mitty won the match, so the girls lost the first round. The ones that they're investigating. My thing is, why would you bet? Especially Brengle, why would she allow that if she's 35 in the world? She's making decent money, 30 years old, almost at the end of career. At the end of her career, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if they're guilty. You know what I mean? That makes no sense why they would do that. Because Brengle would have to be in it, don't you think?
First of all, I think you're missing the point of how deep betting goes. I don't want to get into my own story as a bettor, but there was a point in my life where I got wrapped up in betting, and I realized that wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Betting can have a lot of implications on your life, especially if you're in with the wrong people. And sometimes you don't think it's a big deal, and all of a sudden it happens. So let's talk about why one game of a match would even be important in betting. I think a lot of you guys that don't understand betting too much, if you're a habitual bettor or the bookies will make a bet on anything. Do you know that when you watch like the Super Bowl, that's American football, do you know you can bet on the coin toss, who scores the first touchdown, if the field goal kicker makes the first kick, what will the score be after 5 minutes, what will the score be at halftime, what color will the bikini be on the model at halftime? You can bet on a million things within the game itself, okay? Mm-hmm. First of all, it doesn't matter if there's 4 people on the court or 10,000 people playing, quintuplet doublets or whatever you would call that. one bad apple in there can jack up the whole bunch. Isn't that an old saying? One bad apple will screw up the whole barrel, or however it goes. But in gambling, bookies will put out bets on anything. So the bookie can say, I'll take 10-1 odds that the fifth game of the second set is a love 40 hold. You see what I'm saying? You can go to Vegas and make bets like that. So if one player, even if it's on a court of doubles, had some bet that was rolling through the books at this game will be a love 40 hold, and someone bet $1 million on it, well, guess what? Bookie just got paid. And the player just got paid. And usually the player gets paid because they're hurting. They need the money. They can't survive. And generally, some of these players are mothers. Isn't one of these players a mother?
Yeah. Take as a mother.
Times are tough out there. I'm not saying anybody's guilty, but it smells a little fishy. I don't know. The big bets usually roll on prize fights. I wouldn't consider this a prize fight. So when these algorithms and these computers start picking up, millions or however many dollars churning, digitally, surely this isn't happening. Here, hey yo, take this 50 and let me give my 250 back if you win. Better pay me up. This is digital money, and that shit's all tracked. So. Pretty naive of anyone, but I'm not saying they're guilty, but I mean, they make bets on anything. So who knows? She could have had bets that she was going to hit an ace on her first serve of the first game of the first set, and then she told her opponent, hey, just don't even make an effort to hit my serve, and I'll split the difference. I mean, shit goes deep, man. It is. It's real.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever heard of anybody throwing a fight, missing a shot?
So many people.
Dropping a ball?
I don't think that Brangle would... I don't think she would be involved. You're like 35 in the world. Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me.
It doesn't have to be. It could just be one. But I'm not saying anyone. I mean, I'm the first person to say, you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Yeah.
But...
Labimpe asked if they're guilty, would they pay a fine and get banned a few matches?
They'd face suspension.
I think they would face suspension.
There's a player now that just came back on tour after an admission, and then he ratted out a couple more people. He snitched out. You remember this? There was a player not long ago that was a snitch.
What was his name?
I don't think you should ever snitch on anybody.
No, he never snitched.
He didn't snitch.
Everybody thought he was a snitch, remember? And we talked about him. We did a show that everybody was treating him bad, but he never said anything.
I thought he ratted him out.
No, you got to go back to the show. I forgot. They called him back because he was the lucky loser, and people were treating him bad because they thought but he didn't rat anybody out.
And then, and I think he made a comeback after that, right? But I don't think any coaches or any teams want to have an association with him because of his rap sheet, which again I think is another thing that sucks, because history shouldn't tell someone's future. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Najee said, Carla, not to sound offensive, but if you wear a men's cap, then people would think you're a male. Trust me, I got ass and boobs. They wouldn't think I'm a man.
Hey,
just saying. So maybe you're used to your culture. I don't know, because I hear this every time.
I love you, my lady.
Middle Eastern guys all the time.
All the women I need right there, man. Let's go. All right.
Anyways, what's the next thing? So we talked about that. Thanks, Gene Schwartz, for sending me that, because we were running and doing errands, so I wasn't really paying attention to any news out there except like the Diego Schwartzman and Thiem match, which I disagree with you. Some of you guys said was one of the best matches. I watched the fourth set and the fifth set, and I can't say it was one of the best matches.
Can I pause for a moment?
Yeah.
Who in their right... Dude, first of all, Carla is everything to me.
Oh, no. Don't go.
This means freaking nothing to me. 5 children? Looks like... Dude, come on. Are you in one of those places where you just, beat up women and talk shit to them and say whatever the hell you want to say without repercussions? Man, block this dude and let's move on. Wasting my freaking time. If she was any weaker, she wouldn't be in the trenches with me.
Oh, my God.
You know how to get in the trenches? You know how to dig deep? You know how to fight? Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Block this dude. Let's move on.
Oh, stop.
You blocked him?
Yeah.
Good night.
Carter says, you go, Justin.
Let's go.
All right, another thing I wrote, Alexander Zverev. We talked about this yesterday.
Fucking bullshit. Yeah.
We talked about this yesterday. How everybody got on him because they said, well, how did the French Federation allow him to play knowing that he had fever, right? And then he blamed it on, well, I was feeling sick in my third round against Cincinnati, and then I felt sick with Sinner. Well, they tested him, and it came out negative. We talked about that. Hey, guys, it could just be a cold for all you know. Well, he was negative. And after he tested negative, he says, Now I want to give credit to my opponent Sinner. He says, I wish him the best of luck. So now he wants to give him credit because the test came out negative. He also said that the tournament knew and he even received cold medicine during his Chechenado match. But then the French Federation says Zverev never consulted doctors during the match. He never consulted us, so we never knew he had a fever.
I still can't get over the fact of how people just type how people type so freely. I bet you, homeboy wouldn't be in my house and say that.
No.
Would he, Carla?
No.
I think
he wouldn't say that in front of
there'd
me.
be like 7 police cars at my doorstep. Would there not be?
Oh,
been there,
God.
done that. Anyway, coward ass fucking people, man.
You know, the thing is, they expect women to be submissive. You know, come to the United States and you'll see how submissive they are.
Come here and
come to the U.S.
See what
and you
Carla
will
does
see how. No, not just me. Any girl. See how submissive they are.
Yeah, and
actually go to a Latin country. Heck, go to Mexico and see how submissive they are.
Man, what an absolute idiot. To Zverev. Everyone knows that if you ever, Carla lost her nickname to Fusovic Iron Man, she read the other day.
Yeah.
I created Puppy Hater. So if you ever hear Puppy Hater, you know where it came from. But I'm going to give Zverev a pass here. I'm going to give him a pass. Mm-hmm. Carla, how tough is it to travel on the tennis tour?
Very tough. It's tough. I remember just going state to state. It's training.
How much comfortable sleep do you really get?
Not much.
Does the body become more immune or less immune to illness when you're tired and weak? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at us. Like we've been dealing with sore throat and all that because we've been working nonstop. Yeah.
So homeboy gets a cold. It happens. I think on average, the average person that lives in the world today gets about 2.2 colds per year annually. Mm-hmm. He got a cold. Now, what he said before and after, Carla, do you ever get groggy and when you feel like shit and the kids are all over the place and running around and one's throwing a Lego and hit someone in the face, the other one threw a dinosaur and hit him in the head, the other one smacked him back and all that shit? Do you ever say stuff you don't mean when you're feeling groggy and you're not right on that? You're usually very positive with the kids no matter what. Yes. But sometimes are you like regretting what you say because you didn't feel well?
Sure, probably.
Okay.
Probably. That's what happened to him.
I think I give him that pass here.
Yeah. I said that. We can't go off on the guy and say, oh, they shouldn't let him play. People get colds, especially when traveling. How many times we hear players default because of a stomach virus or something?
Let's take some comments.
Well, I'm sure they want to talk about this match. This match that was the best match of the year.
Well, we heard some of the commentators.
The best match of the year.
We heard some of the commentators saying that. I disagree with that. I think the best match I've seen this year was actually, I think it was Shapovalov against somebody in Rome. I forget, but they were battling it out. It was a really good match. But anyway, there's something else I want to say about Novak Djokovic, though.
Oh, okay.
Can I start with that one?
Yeah, let's start with that one. Sure.
All right. We know that Novak had a very unfortunate accidental situation at the U.S. Open. A ball he hit back behind him like every player does when they get done holding or getting broken, serve, whatever. They tap it back to the ball person. I get someone was hit in the throat, whatever. But yesterday, when Djokovic was playing a match, he was receiving serve. He reached out to hit it. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And the ball shanked off of his racket and hit a ball person in the face. Mm-hmm. Okay? I could care less, number one, because credibly, I promise you, I've been a ball boy many times and have been hit in the face, neck, throat. Well, not throat. That's a lie. I have not been hit in the throat. Side of the face at the net with doubles a lot. Hitting the chest, hitting the side, hitting the leg. You have too. I've seen you
many times.
I've seen her hitting the leg.
Many times, yeah.
It's just part of it. It's just part of being on the court with projectiles flying everywhere. Maybe they need what are the Patriot missile system or something? Maybe the ball people need anti-tennis ball missile systems around them because if you can't handle the heat, then get out of the damn cage. But anyway. We thought that there was a potential that Novak Djokovic would receive negative media, at least in the Western civilizations, because it happened supposedly again, especially from people that don't know squat about the game or the lines people or anything more than a headline, right? Mm-hmm. Well, lo and behold, what do we get, Carla? Multiple articles that saying, why no disqualifications this time? Why? There was one, and I think it was, I don't know if it was the New York Times or if it was Forbes, I can't remember, but it was a major article,
I
right?
read it. Yeah, I think William Chia sent it to you. I think Ethan sent me a message. He's like, well, he wasn't hitting that out of frustration. It was just a point, which happens. Yeah, this one was different.
Totally fine.
This one was different because it was just, it can happen. You can shank a ball and it can hit someone.
Totally fine. There's not a problem here. There is not a problem whatsoever. If you're receiving a reserve of 100 miles per hour and probably more projectile, and your goal is, Carla, when we're training advanced juniors to receive serve and we're serving really hard at them, what do we tell them the best thing to do is? Step, block it back. Mm-hmm. Step, block it back. Compact step, block it back. Reach out for it, block it back. Mm-hmm. Just try to get it in play and try to get neutral. And if not, then, great job. So he's doing the same thing, and it shanks off the racket.
So Mitrovic says, Daily Mirror had a headline, Djokovic did horrible thing again, like the main story of the day.
Preposterous.
This one was not even out of frustration.
It's just tennis.
It was just playing a point, which anybody can hit.
The one at the U.S. Open was still... I'm sorry. I'm like, you guys are going to go off on me and say, now I just like Djokovic because you dissed Federer. No, it's because he's just older, and I get reality behind that. Do I still want Vinny Testaverde to come out of retirement and win a Super Bowl? Do I still want Joe Montana to come out of retirement and win a Super Bowl? I loved them then, but this is now. Anyway, you can't tell me that every player, I'm not going back to the U.S. Open, they come out and they tap a ball behind them, okay, throat hacked, I get it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But this one wasn't just... There is nothing to even talk about. It's tennis. Mm-hmm. You reached out there, you blocked it back, it bullied the racket back, it pushed it off, and it hit someone. That's fine. Now, after this, I did disagree, though, with something Novak Djokovic said. Yes, I'm saying I disagree with something he said. Novak Djokovic argued, in a sense, and maybe argued is the wrong adjective. Maybe that's an adverb. I'm not sure on that one. But he argued that he was now a proponent of removing human linespeople, human judges from the court and replacing them with technology. I disagree with that on all levels. You want to start? Why? Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
At first, I would have to disagree with him because I would say that's taking jobs away from them. But a lot of these guys are idiots, so I would have to agree with him.
Short and sweet.
Very idiotic. They make very bad calls. We have the systems, we need them. So many matches that could have been different, could have gone a different way had that line official made the right call.
Well, I agree. Okay, you have some facts there, but I think we need to broaden your horizon a little bit. First of all, there's human beings that have trained their entire lives to hold down these positions, and
how hard can you train to be a linesman?
A lot of them train every day. A lot of them study their ass off and have to
put young eyes. Don't put old eyes.
Okay.
Because as we get older, our eyes.
Let me finish.
Go bad.
Let me finish. Mm-hmm. Okay. About 3 or 4 years ago, I forget what year it is, or year it was, maybe even 5 or 6 years ago. There was no such thing as a damn fifth set tiebreaker in men's tennis at majors except for the U.S. Open. And I think the French Open now is the only one without, and I respect them, and they have become my favorite major because of that. I don't think this year's French Open is all that great, honestly, but I respect that organization as a whole more than anyone else because they have not bowed down to investors and people that run the subways and people that run the taxi cabs and the and what do they call it, the unions and everything else for transportation. They're just fighting it out, right? But, a couple of years ago, we have this freaking Mahut Isner, 27 million fifth set game. And you have another one, I think, with Anderson and someone else. And they were like, all right, enough. I had enough of this shit. People can't get home. Anyway, I don't feel like getting rid of human beings is going to help anything. I think that you can coexist together. You can have your system that once installed, surely it's not more than a cable bill to keep up with it. You install your cameras, you install your AIs, you have blind judges around, so tradition is upheld.
Alinkaya says, since he went great without lines people.
I get that. I get that. And you're correct. I'm agreeing with that. But at some point in time, isn't this just, I guess, more than tennis? Isn't this just more another example of why, tens of millions of more people are going to be unemployed? Is this just another way to, push, this is a profession to some people. And, they study, they travel. That's what they do. And without being able to do that, can't they coexist so we save people's jobs? Don't you think that's important?
Yeah, I think
Is it not?
Okay, so keep them and keep the machine.
That's what I'm
saying. That way we
saying.
can challenge it.
Let them coexist. Let the line judges do their thing. Keep the respect. It adds intensity. Let them get a throat hack. I mean, the crowd likes it. And if you, and in my opinion, the easy solution here is to coexist the two of them.
Alex Guyard, great comment.
And then make the lines people wear a protective. I mean, damn, do we play? Look, back in the 1800s, American football, we ran around with a piece of leather on our head and freaking, knock teeth out for fun. And hockey, they still do it. But what I'm saying is we added a football helmet and, just give the line judges a protective helmet and some throat pads like they do in baseball behind home plate. And we're really not having this damn thing for millions of people to watch.
If you guys watch WALL-E, you would see that all the robots took over and then the people were fat in the spaceship. You never saw WALL-E, you should watch it. It's kind of a cartoon. It's very good. Kind of shows us what's going to happen. Humans are going to get huge and depend on robots. I mean, I guess let them...
Sounds like the trajectory right now.
Let them coexist, like you said, because a lot of these clay, if you look at the clay, like we talked about, the ball bounces. Well, what about sometimes the ball could touch the other side more than, it's just odd the way, or they could skid. You don't know.
Look, the intentional stuff is like...
He said it because he's pissed off what happened at the U.S. Open to him,
I agree.
That's why he says that. I don't think he would have never said it.
The stuff that's intentional is like Tsitsipas, scraping his dad's arm, like Nalbandian,
Oh, that's so mean, Randy. He says they need to put the line judge out to pastures. They call the pickleball lines. They could call the pickleball lines in their retirement homes.
But where does that sit? Let's say though, and I'm not saying I disagree with this comment. I think that's reality. And I think it will head there. But what about if one of those line judges is a single mother with 3 kids and that's a profession? I mean, what happens then? I mean, are they just out in the pasture? I mean, I feel deeper than that because with 5 kids, I think we have been through struggles and always struggle. But, it's really tough to fight in the trenches when you can't pay your bills. And unfortunately, there's a lot of these people, and I've been around a lot of these people that do it for a living. And they're dependent on it. And if they're on the street, geez, what do they do?
I can tell you something though, Justin. We've watched many junior tournaments where they suck at calling lines.
The juniors are awful.
Those guys, I don't even know why they hire them because if they're at that club all the time, they call the lines for the people that they know. So I don't know.
Junior tennis is the most abhorrent line calling I've ever seen.
And then they give you these dirty looks like if they're against you because they want their
student to win.
Yeah, it's just, I don't like it.
Yeah, we get ostracized from tournaments all the time. We'll bring a student or our kids to a tournament, and then the first day, they're all nice, and the second day they're still there, and they find out that we coach and those are our kids, and then they just hate us. The doors locked in the bathrooms and the
So
we can't go inside.
I don't think he said it because of the U.S. Open situation. Novak said after Cincinnati he was impressed how reliable the line system in its future. True, but don't you think that he also has, he's pissed off about that still.
Right. I have a couple quotes from Novak though.
Randy said, laugh out loud, how about we take the money we give to a garbage lines people and give it to the struggling pro players who cannot make enough money to pay their bills. Give it to the people who actually do work.
Okay, I'm going to applaud this.
Yeah. True.
Comment of the day. Who is that?
That's Randy.
That's very well said. Never thought about that. Okay, yeah, give it. That would be something that Djokovic's players organization could discuss. This is real litigation here. This is a really good example. So okay, most of the lines people, then maybe they can find this work or that work, but because they're, I guess, they don't have to worry about having their bodies in prime shape to do it. Mm-hmm. You get them out of the game. You use the computer system, saving everybody, tens of millions, I would assume, with all of them that they have to pay throughout a year and travel and everything. Mm-hmm. And you funnel that to the players that are having more difficulty surviving because they have a more finite time frame to keep their body in shape per se to play at a high level.
All right.
Write it up. Great comment. Here's a couple quotes from Novak Djokovic, by the way. This is his quote. I guess a reporter asked him about hitting the person, and he responded something like this, and I quoted it. Obviously, because of what happened in New York, people, I guess, will make a story out of this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The translation probably didn't come across very well, or he didn't speak it very clearly. But yeah, absolutely, people made a story, and there is no story. This is just tennis, and that's just the way it is. So if anybody talked negatively of him hitting someone, you have no idea about the game of tennis, and you should just stop watching it and just leave the whole platform in general. Another nugget that he quoted: very awkward situation. Obviously, it was for him. Another one that he quoted as well. He quoted, "It has happened to me and to many other players in the 15 years I've been on tour." Alluding to it happens a lot, but it only seems like when I do it, it's talked
because
about.
Novak's always a target, and that's the truth.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about the next subject you have.
Next subject, real quickly. We have seen a lot of drop shots in this French Open. An uncanny amount of drop shots. Hit the line, there's the dropper. Here, a lot of drop shots.
Many good, but that's what you do in clay.
And why else would you utilize the dropper a lot in fall, wet, dank, dark, nasty conditions?
It just dies.
It dies.
Yeah.
Why does it die? There's a lot of humidity in the air. I think the humidity in France is pretty thick this time around the fall. I think there was a lot of world wars fought in this area in the fall, and it can get downright misty, wet, nasty, and trench warfare-ish.
All right.
And that's what it is.
All right, next.
Next topic. How bad does Rafael Nadal beat Jannik Sinner? Is it close? Is it lopsided? Or can Sinner win?
I think that Sinner has no chance. I think we talked about it today. This is boy versus man. This is not only a boy, an upcoming future champion against someone that's won this 12 times, who knows the surface very well. Not only is he facing someone that's won 12 times, but I'm sure the kid is feeling some nerves. Facing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best ever on clay.
I would say this is D-Day for Jannik Sinner. He's going to face a barrage of beasthood. Again, I don't consider myself. I love tennis and I love every player within it. I think Rafa's a great champion, one of the best ever. But you know, I'm just going to tell it like it is, as much as I hate to do so. I really feel like Nadal will just absolutely just pound Sinner.
Randy says 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.
Could be.
Alinkea says Sinner has no chance. Wala says 3 sets, maybe one tight set. Suman says Sinner has no chance. Jordan says Sinner, Nadal close game, you'll see. Waynham says 6-4, 6-3, 7-5.
If that happens, dude, Waynham Chia, if that happens, you're coming to visit next month with your mom.
Boy, Blind Fury says Sinner takes 1 set off Nadal, Carla. And Marco Kosic says Sinner wins in 5 sets. And
Holy
Michael
cow.
says, I disagree with Carla Sinner's.
Who said that? Who said the 5-set Sinner win?
Marco.
Marco,
Kosic.
Marco Kosic?
Kosic.
I'll send you $20 if that happens.
Michael Walker, I disagree with Carla Sinner. Michael Walker says, I disagree with Carla Sinner special. He will make it a match. I know he's special.
Michael Walker said that?
He is special.
Love that
But
guy.
I think Nadal will be too much for him. James
All right.
says Rafa wins in 4. I think it'll be 6-3, 6-2, 6-3. And I'm going to write it down.
Well, okay, let's write down some scores. Closest.
Okay, let's see.
Let's go. Let's write it
see.
down. You get us right now.
Okay, so me, I say 6-3, 6-2, 6-3, 6-2. We had Waynham says 6-4, 6-3, 7-5. Michael, come on, put your thing. Alex says Couillard, 4, Nadal. Jean, 4, Nadal. Let's see. Wildlife says Sinner doesn't have the legs to go 5. Alex Couillard gave me his score. 6-3, 6-2. But didn't you just say 4 Nadal? Sinner takes 1 set. Blind Fury says he takes 1 set. Okay. So that would be Nadal and 4. Let's see. Who says 6-0, 6-0? Randy says 6-0, 6-0. 6-0. Alex J. In 4. Okay. Wildlife says 1-3 sets, which is what we're saying, but give me some scores. See, Jean gave me the scores. 6.
I'm trying to think how nice.
5-7.
What I'm trying to do.
6-1, 6-2.
I'm trying to think if Nadal, because everybody thinks he's a gentleman.
5-7.
You know, I'm trying to think if he's gonna. Is he gonna gift the young?
6-2 Nadal.
Is he gonna gift him a couple games? You know, is he gonna be the father role and be like, "You did so good," and get a photo shoot with his $1 million watch? Bling bling. Every time I come around Nadal's court, bling bling.
So 3-6.
You think he's gonna do that?
No, he's not gonna be nice. He's
You
trying
think
to prove
he's
his
gonna be
point.
nice to him?
He wants Novak to know that he means freaking business.
All right, here I go. You want to hear my score?
6-4, 6-3, 7-5, 6-1.
Write mine down.
Hold on. Suman, 6-4, 6-3, 6-2. Dorde, 7-6, 3-6, 6-4, 7-5.
Oh, if someone nails this.
I meant 6-2 in the fort. Okay, so Alex Cuellar, let me change yours.
Look, I'm going 6-2, 6-3, 6-1.
Hold on.
Here, I'll put mine up here.
There you go.
All right.
6-3, 6-2, 3-6.
6-3.
And 6-2.
6-2, 6-3.
I got Alex J.
All right, ready?
Yep. So we're gonna see today. Let's see who's the closest.
What? Here.
Igor.
No, look. Ready?
Yep, ready.
All right. So, it's really difficult for anyone to step on any type of playing platform or job or whatever you do in life, and there's the ultimate boss right there. You go into like a work setting, or you go into a classroom, and there's like the big man on campus sitting there. There's always a little bit of intimidation factor. I think that will lopside the first set. Mm-hmm. That's why I put it as a 6-2 first set.
You put 6-2 first set.
6-2 first set. The 6-3 set, it's a break, and it's close, and it's an athletic second set. I think at the third set, the young boy will be like, wow, this is Nadal over here, and it is what it is, and I hope I get my shirt autographed afterwards. Does that sound about?
I don't think he'll ask for the autograph. I don't think
no.
he'll do the same.
I don't think he has a chance. I think I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he has a chance.
Hold on, making sure we're Alex Cuellar, because I want to look at these. So Justin says 6-2, 6-3, 6-1. That's
6-2,
your prediction.
6-3, 6-1.
Rafa doing a Santa Claus. Laugh out loud. All right. Next topic.
All right, let me make sure I've got them all. Okay, so Djokovic, we got that.
We talked about Nadal. We're going to talk about the matches now.
Zverev tested negative. Mary Pierce, we talked about that. We talked about Djokovic wanting to suspend the human beings. By the way, the girl Podoroska, we talked about her already. Mm-hmm. Podoroska, the girl that's really from Ukrainian background.
Argentina.
Okay. She has won more money in the last 10 days than she has in her entire 8-year career. What does that tell you? Maybe we should get rid of the line judges and pay the qualifiers? Wasn't she a qualifier?
Yeah, she was a qualifier.
Hello, let's get down. Let's go. Podoroska from Argentina.
Hit the likes, guy. Hit the likes. There's only 24, and there's many of you.
And subscribe. We saw that also. Like 93% of our viewers aren't subscribed.
Yeah.
Pretty odd.
Yeah.
All right. Rafael Nadal. This is my last topic I have. This is a freaking important. This is
not important.
This is muy importante.
This is just because you're anti-Nadal. Go ahead.
Muy importante.
Yeah.
Get ready for this one. All right? Rafael Nadal, get ready for this. Come on, vamos, as he would say. Picking his butt. How do you pick your ass and say vamos at the same time? Is it because your finger hit your ass and you're like, woo? Instead, he just says vamos. All right, anyway, Rafael Nadal has set the record for the most expensive watch worn by any player ever on court.
Do you think he paid for it?
Do you think I give a shit? Mm-hmm. We're trying to strip line peoples of their jobs, and we're trying to...
That's stupid, Justin.
And the world's struggling, and you want to have $1 million watch on the court for us all to lap up.
Come on, dude. So you're telling Federer don't travel in your yacht because there are people struggling in the world? Hey, don't do this to all the people that are rich and stuff. Don't do this.
That's his private
But
life.
that's his sponsor, Justin. They gave him that watch. He had that watch in many other tournaments.
Rolex is expensive. Whoa. Isn't the point of a sponsorship to enable the people that you're showing off the attire to buy? Like Nike puts out the latest Nadal gear and you buy it. Because even then it's like $80 for a t-shirt, which is just freaking bullshit. So nonetheless,
Alex Cuellar said, Justin, you're so jealous.
How am I jealous?
Wait, how are you gonna write about this? This is bullshit.
Do you really give a shit? Do you really care?
Nobody gives a shit. This is like Djokovic hurt somebody else again. He wears a fucking watch because it's a damn sponsor. Okay? How many rich people play tennis? Many. How many want to be like that person? Many. So you're telling those rappers, hey dude, you shouldn't wear those necklaces.
He's not a rapper.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm telling you.
What about the guys who wear those expensive
rapper?
shoes? He's a tennis player. He has a sponsor. Good for him that he can wear that watch.
I'm getting dumber.
Shoot.
I'm getting dumber listening to you.
Anytime we talk about Nadal, you say, I'm getting dumber. So anytime you talk about Djokovic, I'm going to say, I'm getting dumber.
Let me ask you a question. He's trying to go down in the history book as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the most humble and most kind soul that's so loving of all his wonderful fans. And he's rolling up on a set with $1 million watch. How many people can buy the $1 million watch, Carla?
Random Chia said, Nadal did so much to help the less fortunate. It is okay. And this guy, and William Chia is a spiritual guy, very giving guy. I think I would listen to William Chia over you.
Let me ask William Chia a question then. I bet you he could go pawn that watch, pawn the damn watch, and give a whole lot of money to a lot of people that need it instead of just posting up with.
Well, like I said, would Justin praise Djokovic for rising from nothing if he wore an expensive watch on court?
Have you ever seen Djokovic wear $1 million watch on the court?
Dude, he has $1 million of homes.
Homeboy's going to play a tennis match with $1 million watch.
So you got a problem now, but you didn't have a problem last year and the year before that, but you didn't have a problem when your boy was wearing a Rolex watch.
It wasn't $1 million Rolex. Not $1 million, maybe like 10 grand.
If you go back to our show,
$1 million watch.
If you go back to our shows, we talked about all the different players wearing expensive watches, and Roger Federer was on that list.
Not for $1 million.
Oh my God!
Do you understand how expensive $1 million watch is? A freaking $1 million. We could retire.
My wife says you two argue in the same way like we do in Serbia.
Damn. I mean, are you serious?
Oh my gosh, man.
Are you serious? Look, whoever just said that about him and his wife arguing like we do, thank you, because you feel my pain. Let's go. But could you imagine what we could do as a pair of four if we had a $1 million watch and we split it between the four of us? Done.
Dude, how many times do you see guys wearing sneakers that are worth tens and tens of thousands? That's not...
A pair of Jordans is like $190.
Novak Djokovic, by the way, tennis players who have luxurious watches. Djokovic wore Audemars Piguet after his huge Wimbledon victory.
After the huge victory.
Dude, the guy has 12
But it wasn't $1 million watch.
He has... We're going to find out right now. Because now you piss me off.
Yeah, you're pissed always.
Here we go. Novak Djokovic. Let me see. How much his freaking watch is? Worth $200K.
Oh, that's 1/5 of a million. 200,000, okay. All right.
200,000 is okay.
Bro, 5 times that?
And then Nadal before wore a $500,000 watch.
He's number 2 on the list, his own self. And 2 majors, he's wore $1.5 million of worthless jewelry. Okay. Good for him. Pick your butt, stick it up your ass, and shine it. Pull that shit out and have a lump of diamond.
Oh my God.
Pick your butt with his watch. He should do that.
Okay, let's find out how much.
Crap out a lump of coal. Why not?
All
right, that's all I got. The world is hurting, and you roll out with $1 million watch. I just don't get it. Especially when since you're
Sharapova,
going to
Kleister has citizens that have 57 diamonds around it. You know that can't be cheap.
Okay,
Wozniacki had a Rolex that was worth a lot.
On the court or like in their photo shoot?
On the freaking court.
Okay, whoa.
Oh my God, shut up.
Because they're in luxury suits taking those pictures.
Oh,
he's on the damn court.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't make any sense. Man, you're like talking to
luxury watch brands pay Wimbledon stars Djokovic and Nadal Serena to wear their watches while they're playing. $550. Look. They give it to them. It's not like he spent $1 million. And you know what? The guy owns a yacht. So what if he has $1 million watch? He worked for it. If you work, then now you're thinking communist that we should all have the same.
Now you're calling me a communist? How the hell we start talking about watches and now she's calling me a communist? What the hell is that all about? You know, Spanish women, when they get pissed, they start talking really fast, like Charlie Brown's teacher, like on the Peanuts.
The honeymooners.
And you just can't listen to it anymore. You're just like, just deal with it.
The Worship Djokovic show. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, come on, man.
All right. Do me a favor. Next time you guys go out on the court and go hit a tennis ball and you got your $1 million watch on, send me a selfie. Love to see it.
Someone said they own an Apple Watch 300. I wish I owned a $300 watch.
Okay.
My watch is Harry Potter. It's $9.99.
My watch was $2 at a garage sale up the street.
Actually, he had a watch that was worth $600.
I sold
it. Yeah.
Sold it.
Okay, $600.
But I sold it. Felt guilty wearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Did I not?
All right, let's talk about the matches.
All right, let's go. There's only like one.
Women's match. Collins beats Jabeur in 3 sets. I didn't know. A lot of you guys told me that Nicolas Almagro is her coach. I had no idea. I love Nicolas Almagro's one-handed backhand, by the way.
Nicolas Almagro was top 10 for a while.
Yeah,
Nicolas Almagro could play. Then he started gaining weight.
Well, he retired.
Yeah,
right?
he had
a family. That's okay.
Well, he got a little chunky there late.
That's okay. Good for him.
He did good. Good player.
Yeah. So she will face Kenin. Her and Kenin, record, I wrote it down, 3-0. Collins has beaten her in 2020, Adelaide, 6-3, 6-1, 2017, Norma, 6-1, 6-2, and 2017 at Tyler, 6-1, 7-6. Although, the last time she played her was in a smaller tournament. I think Kenin won the Australian Open after that.
I think
so she's a different player.
I think Collins
has a good shot.
I think Collins wins.
She needs to go like this. Come on! In her face, because Kenin is so easy to get under her skin. So she just needs to keep yelling and then looking at her dad and doing the same thing so they can irritate each other.
Yeah, this match won't have very good sportsmanship at all. On either side of the court, you'll have Collins yelling like a ninja warrior, and you'll have Kenin over there snatching balls from ball boys and slamming her racket around.
That's going to be a bitchy match.
It's a bitchy match. But nonetheless, I think Collins wins it only because I think if those two went into a boxing match, I think if Collins had a pair of boxing gloves and Kenin had a pair of boxing gloves, or forget about it. MMA in the octagon, you let them loose. Who wins that fight? Who wins the fist fight? Collins going to whip that ass. Watch and see.
Yeah.
All right. Only because she would kick her ass in a street fight.
Then last night, Carreno and Altimere played. That was a boring match. Carreno won in 3 sets. So I'm sure Djokovic is excited to play Carreno.
Wait a minute.
Again.
Well, didn't the whole snafu accidental event happen at the U.S. Open with a throat hack to the line judge?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I know that Carreno's probably begging right now. Please, please, Djokovic, please get mad. Please, 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 please get mad so I can win.
Yeah, what we should do is set up like a ball machine at the exact speed of Djokovic's ball that went into that lady's throat, and then I'll take the shot. Give me the shot and aim it for my throat.
We all know that.
And see how bad.
We all know that Carreno Busta is going to get slammed.
Yeah, he's going to get his ass.
Maybe not. Nah, he'll get his ass slammed.
Thiem losing today, 6-2 in the 5th after 5 hours. We talked about running out of gas. Do you think it was the gas that finally ran out of the tank, or is that just an excuse?
Wait, Eddie Van Halen has died? Really?
Really?
Wow. Are you for real, Michael Walker?
Wow.
He was young still, right?
Rocker. He was probably 70s by now.
70s?
60s, 50s. Anyway. Ready?
It's 65 from cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I know who Eddie Van Halen. I never was a
65
fan.
is still young.
Wasn't really a big.
I liked him. All right.
Yeah, I was more a rap guy growing up.
No,
and then like Grateful Dead and Fish.
Jump.
Grateful
That's
Dead.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Grateful Dead. I want to read a comment that someone made. Oh, going back to the women's, there was a comment. You know how we're talking about all these qualifiers making it, Trevisan, and now Podoroska. B-Dog sent me a message earlier, and he said this is the reason why these players are getting further. Richer players during quarantine cooked, ate, explored, took a break, gained weight. Other players practiced, got fit, focused, and improved. Explains why lower levels are playing better earlier in tournaments and advancing.
Possible.
We saw this in the men's and the women's in this tournament.
Possible.
Yeah. What do we think about that?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, you would have to study it deeply, but I think the I guess the theory is
well, look at Sinner.
Is possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I guess that kind of depends upon whether or not, if you have a lot of money and you're comfortable, does that mean you're going to take a break? I don't think that's necessarily true across the board. I don't think if I had, I mean, I don't know this for sure because I'd never had a lot of money, but if I had a lot of money, would that take away the tennis that you and I play every day from our repertoire? I mean, isn't that what we do?
I think you tend to work less hard.
You think so?
I think so. It's okay.
I would still. I think
when you have a lot of money, you're comfortable. I think you tend to work less hard because you know you got it there. There's a safe cushion there.
Not for you and me, and I can speak for you on that one as well.
But we've never had that type of money, so.
Well, no, but even so, I mean, we with 5 kids, you can't just chill, and then by the time we get, and then tennis, I mean, how would you know?
Players like Zverev party.
I think a big part of what we do is finally getting those grudge tennis matches between you and me.
But
no
I
matter
think
what, money's not involved.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that priceless to you?
Why Spanish players have a gazillion names except Rafa Nadal? Rafa Nadal is. What?
He's talking about like Carbos, Baena, Busta, ba 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 ba.
Oh, I don't know. You know, they had that in the Spanish culture too.
I can't even keep up with
my dad is David Nathan Ramirez Mora, and he has another one in the middle, and it's like, okay, well, thank God.
You just call him JPD.
Like he told me, you should be like Carla, Cecilia Mora Davis. I'm like, I'm not putting the Mora name in there. Anyways.
Yeah, like Bautista Agu and Carballes Baena, and and there's some female ones that have the same thing. It's hard to keep up with. It is. Sometimes I think Carreno Busta is the same thing as Bautista Agu if I'm just whipping out a draw real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Trevisan is playing Swiatek right now. Swiatek's up, won the first set and up on the second set. So.
Swiatek's a beast.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch her. We've been talking about her now for almost 2 years. Swiatek is here, and again, this is another one of those things relating to Serena Williams and why I think that her desire, obviously, is to surpass a record that I know Michael Walker disagrees, but the Margaret Court's record really is meaningless if you look at it like objectively. 12 of her Australian Opens or her 10,000, however many she won, were just amongst other Australians in qualifiers because no one went there. Anyway, didn't matter. Whatever. She still holds the record, I guess, but it's a really screwed up record with a lot of asterisks all over it on all different types of levels. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, what the hell was I talking about?
Swiatek.
Swiatek.
Wow.
Swiatek is one of these type of people that will stop someone like Serena from winning a major. You know, not just Halep or Kvitova or Kenin or anybody, but these are Andreescu's or Osaka's or whatever. But these girls are popping up that have the ability to destroy people, and Swiatek has been doing it for a while now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the Thiem match and the Schwartzman. That was so exciting. All right, I got Wildlife. You were the one that kept messaging me, and you kept telling me you don't understand why Thiem was playing bad, that he shouldn't be tired, and you gave me even a statistic which I thought was cool. He said, counting the 2 New York tournaments and Rome, Djokovic has played 34 sets and Thiem played 25. So why was he so tired? Well, I think I said, well, mentally he had to be tired. We know after winning a Grand Slam, it could take a lot of you out of you mentally because you're celebrating, you're happy, all those emotions. You're still celebrating, which is why a lot of...
And there's a load off your shoulders.
Yes.
For a minute, you just feel like if you stopped now that you would have attained the ultimate thing. So it's an acceptable...
It's an acceptable... Not only that...
Take a little
think
breath.
about back in the... Like the French Open, the Wimbledon were so close together before, and it always happened that if someone won the French Open,
then
they burn out by Wimbledon. That's what usually happens. And these slams were pretty close together.
Yeah, and also there's a term for that. I think it's called, there's a name for it, the something double. I forget what the name is, the golden double, I forget what the name of it is. But if you win the French Open and Wimbledon back to back, I think Nadal has done it twice. I think so. And that's really hard to do. Not many people have done it. Why? Because the surface is so drastically different. Mm-hmm. And that's why some people have argued that Rafael Nadal is the best ever because of the two most different surfaces. Mm-hmm. That you can go into one
channel slam, Abhishek.
Yeah, there's a word. There's a word for it.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, I think Nadal's done it twice.
Serena did in 2015.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about Rafael Nadal being the greatest of all time because of that. I think there's one surface that makes him arguably one of the greatest, but I still don't think he's the greatest.
Well, again, we talked about this like over and over that whoever has the most Grand Slams in the history books will be known as the best.
Yeah, when we're all dead and gone, and some little child that's a tennis player born in 2030.
I remember that Rafa's won in other slams too, Justin. So.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Just because you don't like him,
it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't like him. I think you created that in me because the entire time we've met, you've thrown Roger Federer under the bus only to raise him up, which created this person and me against him. So you created this. And that would be factual.
Or did it 3 years in a row. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Going back to the Schwartzman-Thiem match, I didn't think it was exciting. I did see that Wildlife sent me a whole bunch of stats on their serves. They kept breaking each other. There was a lot of breaks there. The guys looked like they were pushing their slice. It wasn't even an effective slice. Usually when people slice, it's effective. Their slice looked very dinky to me. A lot of unforced errors there. We saw Schwartzman up many times, and then Thiem would come back, and then Thiem looked like he was going to win it, and then Schwartzman would come back. I think Thiem was very tired, and I don't think if Nadal wins tonight, I don't think Nadal is going to let Schwartzman beat him this time.
No, yes and no. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying
19 breaks in the match.
I'm not saying it was tiredness, but I think Schwartzman won the pushing game.
Yeah.
There's two ways you can play. You can be aggressive. Well, you can be aggressive. You can be defensive, and then you can just push the ball back and just push the ball back and push the ball back. We talked about the humid, wet, dank, cold conditions and how the slice is very effective. You said not effective.
It wasn't effective. I thought their slice didn't look effective.
But you're missing the coaching picture here. If the ball is sitting low, if the ball is going slow, if the ball is heavy and you get the ball short, which yes is pushing the ball, then it doesn't allow the player to come up, especially because the ball's not sitting in their strike zone and they're left with having to push the ball back. And for me, that's what happened. You had two people that were pushing the ball for quite a bit of the tournament or the match, and Diego Schwartzman won that battle. I think if it was a hot summer day at the U.S. Open on a hard court, I think that Schwartzman would have lost. But he was the better pusher today, in my opinion. After 5 hours
better
of it,
retriever.
Yeah,
he retrieved everything. That was the key.
After 5 hours of it,
Yeah.
Thiem had enough. He just won a major. Hey, I'm going to count my blessings here. It was a great 2020. Moving forward, next year's another year, and I'm
they
done.
said he's taking a break after this. No matter what would happen, he would have taken a break.
I mean,
he's tired.
He would have been on break anyway, with the exception of the Asian swing in Paris Masters, if not for the jacked up schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, not a shocker here. He did well, and that's it. I mean, everyone's anticipating the Djokovic-Nadal final. And
Carter, you're so mean.
And that's what you'll get.
The conditions absolutely suited Schwartzman against a tired Thiem. Yep, I agree. Thiem just looked like he checked out.
All right, we got all the matches?
Yep.
All right, guys, much love to all of you. Again, this came in 2 parts.
Wait, Sedovina, the love did not help her.
Yeah,
we forgot to talk about that.
The young love
did not help.
happen.
Podoroska took her out.
Make sure if you're watching this to click the like button. Make sure to subscribe. We only say that because we got a report that only 93% of our viewers are actually subscribed, and less than that actually hit the like button. Anyway, hopefully this hurricane that will now be the second major one that is supposed to make landfall here with us won't be too bad. So we'll follow that and a little bit more in detail.
And before we leave Mondo's, you lost the bet. Thank you for paying. He said he would send me $25 for PayPal, and he did.
He owned up.
He owned up. Thank you very much.
But yeah, thanks so much for everything. I don't know if I missed anything. Oh yeah, this is 2 parts. So if you just caught this right in the middle, there's a whole first part of this because our internet cut out. So just go to the playlist on the channel and look for live shows and go to the one right before this. Mm-hmm. All right. Much love. I'm out. Or we are out.
Bye-bye.
No hurricane. No more hurricane.